Hello everyone, I'm Xiao Gang. In this lesson, we'll handle the data sent back from the server. This is really complicated. The reason it's complicated is because there are two levels of data nested here, along with this commercial parsing process. After the data is sent over, we can get this result. We need to split it into two stages. First, we have to process the data, and only then do we call the proxy. So we have to separate. If you don't separate them, writing the code will be very painful. That's why we split it into two levels here, because it makes the code much cleaner. Then here we get this data. Let's print this data. We'll ignore this part for now. After getting this data, we prepare a response. We prepare a sale response. What is this thing? This thing is the data sent from the server. The data sent from the server. The unified format is this. It's always this format. We can call it the sale response. Hey, it sent the sale response. So this is our sale response here. As you can see, these two are the same thing. Doesn't this match up then? Then we pass it in. So we parse this JSON in. Now JSON parsing might fail. Right? Because it's possible someone forged it. Or there could be version changes. So if parsing succeeds, if parsing fails, we'll just take a look here. Generally speaking, parsing failure is unlikely. If parsing fails, we'll just treat it as an enum here. What is this specific situation? This specific situation means we refresh the previous one. It is no longer a network error. There is no network error. It just failed to parse the server's response. This thing needs to be coordinated with the backend. Check if your versions are not aligned. And then, if the parsing is successful, at this point, we need to verify the current. Let me take a look. You need to verify the current thing. Okay, whether it is successful, you can see here, it is sale response. I can see this place. Neither one of the. It might fail. Right, we can see. If it fails, you just need to find the reason for the failure. Okay. Then if it succeeds, what should we do? That's simple. You just directly parse it successfully. You also directly return this data back. So we write a method like this. This method means we process this data back. Then, obviously, there is a request here. We also put this request type here. Put it here. Then, for this response, we just put this struct here. And the processing is actually here. We haven't written it yet. But if this succeeds, after processing is complete, we need to make it return here. Okay, now let's implement this method process. Okay, then this method, we write it below here. It's a dispatch method. Okay, the name of this struct needs to be changed. It should be this name, and here we need such a media to come in. Okay, then let's create its implementation. Okay, if it succeeds, it will go here and do the relevant work here. So the work it needs to do here is actually to find our blueprint's callback. Then just activate this callback. So first, we still need to look based on its response. Okay. Well, here, whether based on the response or based on the, well, it's actually the same for the login server. We still need to look based on its actual response, because the response is only meaningful when it is successful. Okay. So if it's the first one is obviously this. It's the one we just wrote. If this response is this, yes, it should be this. Then note that you must write the break. Otherwise, it might activate multiple callbacks. Then we need to check here. That is, if the response here is, so it proves we need to look inside this. then this quantity must be greater than 0. If it is not greater than 0, there is no need to look for it. Other reasons may occur. Then let's go find it. See if we can find this thing. It should be findable. Find this agent. If we have found it, after finding it, we just execute it. Then, after execution, we remove it. As for the data it needs to pass, it should be like this. Because we now have 4 parameters, so we need to pass all this information out. Then the cell response here matches up, right? So this is if it's a correct handling, it's like this. Okay, actually we don't have then here. Actually, to be safe in advance, you could add an assertion or something here. We don't need to add any, because each structure will trigger an issue and connect it. If it's not normal, then further processing is needed. Because if it's correct, we return here. If it is incorrect, we will return here. We will return based on this switch type, because that's why it's written this way here. Because you are incorrect. You simply do not have it. You simply do not have this server response. This server response of yours is unavailable because there are too many reasons for you being incorrect. Yes, therefore, this server response is actually unavailable. So if it is unavailable, we can actually just use the server result, because here, depending on different error type result, the CD scan method to overwrite, if not overwritten. Now it is a network error. No response was received at all. Okay, then here, let's simply write first. In the first case, if it is track recursion, paste the code. We wrote below. Obviously, this must be greater than 0, right? And then this is still this record or this delicate idea, but it's quite special. As for this point, this place must be a false. We'll just write boss directly. Okay. And then this place, as for this result, we just need to return this result back. That is, if it's a request, it could be a network failure, or it could be a parsing failure, or it could be that the version of another request is incorrect. Okay, so after writing it like this, we will done here. Now we can do a simple test for everyone. At this point, we will have the client receive the servers. Let's do this test. Our server here is still running. No problem at all. Okay, good. Let's go back to this interface. Okay, here we have the request enum and the return type. Here, let's write them all down. And here, let's move it below this speed type. This is not needed. This is the result. Actually, just put it here. We just need to give an ID here. Many of you might not understand. Why is it just a simple success or failure? Why do you need to write so much? Actually, if you write more, you'll realize that writing this much has its benefits. It does have benefits. Okay, now let's make a request. We don't need to worry about this part. We don't need this breakpoint anymore. Good, now let's take a look. See, we succeeded, right? So now, for example, how do we simulate it? First, let's simulate this version number change. Actually, changing the version number is not that easy. I coded this version number change. Let's still simulate it, because this way everyone will have a more intuitive understanding. We won't touch the server side. We'll mainly work on the plank. For the plank, let's change the version to 1.2. Now let's test it again. Actually, it's not necessary. It can detect it dynamically here. I don't actually need to close this editor. It's fine. We'll just change it back. Hold on. Okay, let's take a look now. See this result. Evolution, no problem, right. Let's change it back. Change it back. Then save it. And now let's test again. This one might be because it has already been loaded. Already loaded. Let's just ignore it. So this places equation. There is absolutely no such problem. So at this point, for example, if we take down the server, turn off the server, then you request it again, we can see, you can see its light arrow. You can notice, don't worry about the yellow ones. The yellow ones are from the engine's underlying layer. Error. You can look at the light arrow. It's quite obvious. This is the error. Right, okay. Take a look. Alright, there's an extra quotation mark here. It looks weird to me. Remove it. This should be a cat. Alright, that's all for this lesson. Actually, we've already written this interface through. Next, we'll expand on this basis to add more information. Then everyone can feel it and improve a bit. Yes,